Hi there, so this is Neil, and I'm going to take you through a couple of different websites. We'll look at some templates first, or what we consider templated design, and really that means that we're taking a pre-existing theme and we're rapidly building it out. So, for example, here we've got 22 and 22.info. This is a site that we built out for to stop soldier suicide. They didn't have much of a budget. In fact, we did a pro bono, so we needed to rapidly build it out. And as you can see, it gets the site gets the job done. It's clean, it's attractive, easy to navigate. I would say another example here is this at the core website. We've got a navigation running along the top here, shows what their services are, about us, kind of their story. If we jump back, just scrolling through it, you can see it's an attractive site. It's nice, it's laid out well, and functions well. You've got your Instagram feed down here. Jumping to another one, Butler Buildings. They build supply parts to Butler Buildings, and we can see that it's got a nice clean navigation to it. It's very easy to navigate through. We can see all the different types of roof systems that they have here, and can access information pretty easily. Another one that would be an example is this law firm here. Easily outlines the different practices. It's clean as we navigate through it, and easy to use. Another one over here is a distributor of food, of fruits, and they've been in business for some time. Going through here, you can see that's got a nice layout to it. It tells a bit about the story of the company itself, and we're easily kind of able to dive in and take a look at it. So these are all really, they're attractive sites. There's nothing wrong with them at all. And they just basically had a limited budget and were able to get up and running pretty quickly. So what's the difference between something like this that's attractive and a custom, a higher end design site? So why don't we start off with Sustainable Generation? They have a really neat product. They're a distributor for basically a gore blanket that kind of speeds up the composting process. So, custom logo here as we're scrolling down, we explain how does the product work, and kind of takes you through that process. You can see this is just kind of playful. It's a nice user experience, and explains clearly what it is that they do. I'll show you another example of how we do that, but kind of leads you down to here, let's talk about what might be right for you. You can see that the menu has just a really nice effect. It's very easy. It's got a takeover menu. You can clearly, jump into different areas. We'll go into their technology. And here's a good example of, say, explaining the complex in a very simple manner. So this is showing, a compost pile, and some of the things that happen that contributes to groundwater contamination, and it costs a lot of money in terms of taking up space and inconsistencies in production. And if we go through here, using some line drawings, we really show exactly what it is their product is. So the gore cover, basically, you put it over, you're hooking it to a computer, and in a very rudimentary sense, it's speeding up what nature takes years to do into months. So it's a good example of that. From here, I'm going to jump over to LLR Partners. They're a private equity firm, and through the process, a lot of things, when you're doing thoughtful design, the messaging plays a key role. So you'll notice that their navigation isn't the standard company services portfolio. It's simply, we grow companies every day, and that really boils down to their essence and what it is that they do. And not only did we use this for the navigation on the website, but this has become, a lot of things that going through a higher end design, you come with out with some great byproducts, and this is their common speak. This is what's used throughout the organization. That clearly just describes in a nutshell what they do. They grow companies every day. They are partners, period. So going down here, we we taglined their blog Growth Bits, and this has been very successful for them in terms of just becoming thought leaders. So it's a little bit of a different design. It's not a standard template as you can see with some of the other ones. Very important when you are doing a higher end design to go ahead and get some nice custom photography done. And we can see that's the case here. And we have set it up where it's easy enough where if they have new members being added to the mix, that they can easily shoot and upload, and they're very much empowered to keep the site current. So you can see it's a nice blend of showing the professionalism, but also that the person is approachable. And in a lot of B2B companies, that's something that you really want to focus on is your team and doing a good job. People want to know who they're doing business with. So this has a nice touch to it. I'll jump from here over to the Power of Pen. Power of Pen is a new capital campaign for University of Pennsylvania, and you can see as you scroll down here, it just has a nice touch. This clearly is not a templated site. A lot of thought process was put into establishing these three pillars that we call so inclusion, innovation, and impact. And the motion involved the access to their different stories here in terms of what they've been doing, some of their initiatives, and it just has a real nice design that goes with it, with the flag raising there. And from there, I'll jump over to another example. This happens to be a publication. So sometimes when you get into custom design, you can still have very much what I'll call a brochureware type of site where it's not very interactive. In this case, we've got a lot more going on here. So as we scroll down, this is real nice where we have the trending content and who's sharing things, that type of thing. So this is a publication focused on civil discourse around public education. So I'll click here, for example, to go into an article, and you can see they've got a nice gateway here where you're only allowed so many articles before you need to subscribe, but it's very unintrusive. The person still is aware of how many articles they're going to be left to read before they must subscribe. As you're scrolling down, custom design, a lot of little touches like this here in terms of just showing how far they are through the article. As we come down here, you'll see we were inspired through medium.com to build out this tool here, which allows you to highlight areas, and you can tweet them out, share them, or simply just comment on them and make your own annotations. Has a very nice menu that will always have what the current issue is, very well laid out into the different chapters and for that specific issue. So has a very very nice touch to it and some advanced functionality. Another example of that would be the Iron Shop, who builds spiral staircases, and this site has a very nice layout. When they came to us, as you can imagine, buying a spiral staircase is not like buying a shirt. There are a lot of different dimensions and things that you have to specify. And they also wanted a tool where you could simply just build your own. So this is a nice example of a custom module that we built for them where the user can come in here and going across, they can choose what designs they want to use and how it's going to look. I'll go over to tread coverings here, and I'll say I want this tread here. You can switch it around, and it's just a real nice tool and a pleasant user experience. You can see how just the analytics have really shown us that people like playing around with this and using the different spindles and really designing their spiral staircase kit here. One example that I'll also pull up here, on our own site, you can really draw and kind of reflect your own culture through the site. So in this case, if I just go to our About page, this is the entrance into our office here, and our one employee Darren loves putting these together. A lot of these are kind of gags. where we're swapping out a movie scene or something and putting in one of our employees' faces. So he has a ball with that. So we decided, hey, you know what? While we are going to put out our bios there, let's put them out in the same format. We'll have frames for them. And that's what we've done here. We have a little mishmash going on here where it's alternately the person, and we pull from our Instagram feed as well. But, if I come back up here and click on Clinton, just has a nice. Bios are really important again when you're into that B2B, especially service related. People, want to see who you are and who they're dealing with. So this is a good example of that. I will also pull up a law firm that we've done a site for, and sometimes when you're working with just this real higher end design, you can give nods to the organization through very subtle design elements. So with the case of Kelly Jasons, they really come into existing issues and they're known for straightening out things. And that's reflected as we're coming down here. You're going to see these boxes are straightening themselves out, and it gives a nod to that. So it's just a real nice layout. We use motion with purpose versus just making things slide all around just for the purpose of sliding all around. So hopefully this gives you an idea of what the difference is between a standard template and a custom design. Please feel free to take a look at our work and see some of the things in our portfolio and get a sense of some of the work that we've done. And again, I'll just point out to another quick example here of a project where we came in and we took their logo and kind of made some modifications to it to clean it up. And you'll notice with bios you can get real creative here. In this case, clearly a very suited up, great picture. But also we reference in here in this picture his favorite project and what he enjoys doing in his spare time. So just has a real nice visual look. As you scroll through really any of these sites, important thing is that it's going to work well on mobile, and that's a big difference between a really custom site versus a templated, is that you've really gone through the process of making sure that the menu and everything works flawlessly across all the different devices, all the different operating systems, and that there's no, the motion is nice and clean. There's no what we call jank in there, and that everything's just flows very nicely, and we're giving your users a great experience, which is what they should have. That's going to make them think more highly of your organization as well. So thanks for watching this video, and appreciate your time.